And to automate it, let's abstract a little bit more. So we have this. But why? And that is the key. Why do some people choose a pickaxe and some people choose a regular axe? That, in this model that we've created, why are some people going with the pickaxe? I don't know. Like, theoretically, you guess that most people would make a regular axe. Like, that isn't technically shown in this data, but, like, because with a regular axe, you can cut down more trees faster. And at the moment, that's the only thing they know, cutting down trees. But a pickaxe, well, that person's a little more forward-thinking. So what types of players are more forward-thinking? And what types of players just go for the regular axe? You can ponder it yourself. Because humans are actually okay at solving these kind of problems. Determining underlying causes for certain behaviors. It's why you can have a conversation with someone. If you don't know how a person's going to act, if you can't predict that behavior, you would never interact with them because they could be dangerous. If you walk up to someone and they punch you in the face immediately after you say hello, well, you're not going to walk up to them. So when you walk up to someone, you're predicting that they won't do that, and most of the time they won't. So yeah, no, we're okay at predictions, despite what people say. Like, when we mess it up, yeah, it can be bad, but 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, honestly, you do an all right job. I was a little bit behind the curve on that one. I was never super great at predicting that kind of stuff, but I mean, you know me. They had an entire video about how I'm on the spectrum. Even then, it just, you know. Anyway, so focusing on all that stuff. Okay, yeah. We could simplify down to here. The key decision, because really, if these aren't interesting decisions, like if we made a game where, say, what if you tracked like the amount of steps you took every time a person took a step, or like pressed a key on their keyboard, it recorded an event. Most of those don't matter, and most of those aren't interesting. Most of those don't impact your game. You kind of need to decide what areas of this will be interesting, and that's why core loops matter. If we go all the way back to here, we have these interesting moments. When someone says they enjoy Minecraft survival mode, it's because of mining, crafting, or surviving. Those are the 3 reasons. And so you want to focus your events. You don't want to just record every time they see a tree. That's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your budget. No, you track the interesting decision. And this stuff, if you really but that's the thing though, what if people aren't learning how to make a bench? That's still an interesting decision. It's not one that really mattered here because everyone figured out how to make a bench. So interesting decisions are the ones that matter, but some overall tracking of just necessary decisions. Basically, things that will dramatically impact the player's session. Those are the ones you're tracking. Not the did they mine a tree, or did they did they look at a tree? Maybe do a first time check of do they know how to mine trees. That's important. So you don't have to, but after they've mined their first tree, that can just be a checkbox. You don't have to fire every time they mine a tree. You don't need that. Onboarding is a regular process, but the person isn't going to mine one tree and then 1 minute later think, how do I mine trees again? It's click. If you do a good job on the actual onboarding stuff, you won't really need to track it too much. Maybe do a basic checkbox every time they return or every hour or so. That's up to you. You can configure it based on your own game. Another loud motorcycle going by. Yeah. I don't even know why. The speed limit here is 20. I can bike faster than half these people. My bike doesn't even wake up the neighbors. So, anyway. Key decision. And that actually brings us to one of my favorite and probably most overused quotes in game design. Games are a series of interesting decisions, but guess what? He was right. Is right. I don't know. I think this was from a while back. So I hope he still agrees with it. Because from what I could tell, it fits perfectly. Think of a game. Any game. what makes it different from a movie? And that's kind of, and you may be thinking, okay, well, in a movie I can't do anything. That's true. You can't. You're a passive audience. And it's also, and that's because you aren't deciding anything. You're not influencing the outcome. You don't have a say. It's not about you. You get to maybe empathize with characters that you see on screen, and you might get emotionally involved in it. But games are about decisions. There's a difference between a focus group test and a play test. These decisions are, I'd say, the core of great games. Because if you look at, say, even Natural Disaster Survival, a game where you seemingly don't have too much agency, it kind of highlights how important these decisions are. Because anyone can watch the movie like 2012. 2012 is a movie where the world ends in kind of a Natural Disaster Survival way. In fact, I wonder if they inspired each other, because I think Natural Disaster Survival came out in 2012 as well. But yeah, or maybe it was 2008. No, I think it was 2012. No, I was there in 2008. I started in 2008. It wasn't out then. 2012. Might have been 2011. We're just over halfway through. I've run out of water. So it's because that's what makes games more replayable than movies are rewatchable. You have a movie that you may rewatch once a week if it's really good, but that's like the best one. Even a bad game you can replay once a day. I have some really bad games on my phone that I'll play whenever I'm bored, when I have nothing else to do. Like I'm in like the transitional periods between activities. They're not great games. I have still replayed them more than my favorite movies. And that's because the decision part makes things unique, makes things interesting. It's the part you should be caring about. So let's focus on those. And from there, we need to figure out why. The why of what